So this is the 2007 Nissan Xterra, in which I just recently traded for a 2009 Toyota Camry, paid $1,500 for that, $1,000 for that, put about $1,500 into work into it, and that thing ran beautiful and fantastic. I traded it for this, which this one, a little bit of a basket case, but it is savable. Now, diving into it, we're dealing with the coolant, flushing that, thermostat, found belts and leaks, and just a whole bunch of stuff, vacuum lines, and there's a separate video for this and videos for the Toyota Camry, so definitely check it out if you're interested in this series of. So now, in today's video, we're dealing with the transmission. So if you know these second gens, the issue that they that really cost them to people to be afraid of them and shy away from them is the strawberry milkshake of death, in which the lower radiator or the lower part has the cooler for the transmission. Something breaks inside, they mix, and then your transmission is pretty much done. So this one has 209,000 miles on it, and what's interesting is I'm pretty sure this is the original radiator. Yeah, pretty sure it's the original radiator. It looks newer because I've actually cleaned it and it got some overspray of spray paint, but considering this has not been done, it's pretty impressive. But this could be a ticking time bomb. I don't want to gamble with it, so we're going to go ahead and address that and service the transmission filter and fluid. So let's get started. So the way I'm going to do this, and it might be easier to see over here, so this line goes, from what I gather, into the radiator, which is down here, and I'll show you from the bottom, and then this line goes from the transmission into the other part of the radiator. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this line right over here, delete on that, and then that line that goes into the transmission, delete on that, and just run a brand new line from there all the way up to here, and we'll be done. You can use the original hoses, but when I take out a hose, especially this old, they don't survive integrity issues. So I got some new hose, we're gonna pop it in. Now we're gonna start with this one. Make sure we got a catch bucket to capture all the lovely transmission fluid that we'll lose. Now what is good is this fluid actually doesn't look too bad. There's no record and witness that the transmission has been serviced, but it's still got a red color. It's a little dark, but that's encouraging. Now we're going to tackle this side. This one's a little tighter. So now we need to get this one. Out. And let's put a little bit over here, the silicone paste, so we can slide that in. Now I am using a new clamp because the other one's a little rusty. I'm sure it's pretty good, but I mean, at this point, think what I'm gonna do now is just seal these with these old hoses just to keep stuff from getting contaminated, and if for some reason the radiator decides to blow up on me internally over here, at least could get me home. Don't want this thing too long, so we'll just cut it. Yeah, that's fine. And if we ever get stuck and we need extra hose, we know where to find one. So moving on to underneath the vehicle, I'm gonna try to take out the drain plug. It's a 19 right over here. Hopefully this breaks out easily. Now I think this was changed because I don't see a washer. Guess we'll find out in a minute. Oh yeah, it's got one. So it looks like this was probably maintained because this fluid looks pretty clean. I mean, it's still dirty. It's got some, you know, dark tint to it, but still got that red. Doesn't smell burnt, so it's a good chance that this transmission was maintained. So that's pretty good and comforting. There's a lot of controversy about changing your transmission fluid. My best advice, do it at your own risk. Thankfully, I've never run into a problem, but I mean, like I said, use your best judgment. I'm gonna go ahead and pop in our drain plug so we don't lose it. And that way I don't forget to tighten it. And looking at this drain plug, I do see witness marks that it has been removed. It also looks like it had some paint. Typically those, I don't know, I've seen them on the quick lubes. I've never seen that at a dealership. But they usually put like a paint marker to show that it's been worked on or tightened or whatever. Alright, let's go ahead and loosen these. Well, the battery fell out the camera, so nothing uneventful. All the bolts came out nice and easy, so that's good. But here we are, the pan. So we're gonna take out all these. Now these have a screen filter versus the typical mesh. And another thing I saw is that you have a lot of different size bolts, so we're gonna have to keep that in mind. These two are the same, so that's good. This thing looks perfectly fine, but while we're here, preventative maintenance, not too bad. I drained more of it out. No glitter. Yeah, that's pretty normal, so very happy with it. Looks like this thing was semi-maintained. That's even the right word. I guess I can say they didn't believe in the lifetime fluid. They didn't fall for that scam. So that's pretty good. I'm just gonna get all this sludge out. Or metal or flakes or whatever you're gonna call it. This nasty junk. Let's see about this gasket. Let's give this a little clean. All right, mating surfaces look clean, so I'm happy with that. Now let's pop in our new filter. I think it goes that way. Yeah, that makes sense. Now, there are different bolts. I just went ahead and just looked at the footage. But if you do it by hand and it doesn't go all the way in, that's your first clue that it's not the right one. So, life secrets. Filters in. Now we'll slide our pan in just like so. Now let's get some fluid in. It's right over here. Looks like they put a lock on this. It's kind of weird. I've never seen anything like that. But hey, if it works, it works. To make sure, I don't know, keep track of, well, actually looks like there's a bolt that's supposed to be there. Very interesting. I'll have to look in that. Comment down below. I thought it was like some type of lock you put there, but it looks like it's probably a bolt. But anyways, now for the fluid, Valvoline, Max Life. I've used this on a bunch of vehicles, Toyota, Nissans, and I've never had a vehicle give me an issue. Now, it's supposed to use that Matic, I think it's D or S. It's some type of Nissan Matic, but this has all the requirements for it, so why not? And it works pretty good. So I think it takes like 4 quarts. We'll start with 3 and we'll just roughly guesstimate it. So I got 3.5 quarts in for now. That's enough just to start it and at least get us moving. I believe it takes 4 to 4.5. Not 100% sure, but I'd rather have less than be overfilled later, so that'll be fine. Now, not gonna be able to fire it up right now because we've still got a bunch of stuff, and you'll see that in another video that we're assembling together and changing on this engine. So when we come back, probably in a couple of days, we'll fire it up, check the fluid, and see how this thing shifts. All right, so skipped ahead a little bit and took it for its first test drive. I fired it up, and with the 3.5 quarts, which obviously it didn't have enough, started slipping, immediately parked it in here, added another 1/2 quart, felt a lot better. So I just checked the fluid, I topped it off, now we're at 4.5 quarts, and I want to see where we're at. So in order to kind of get this thing going, I'm going to run it through the gears, park, reverse, neutral, drive, and then hopefully that should circulate the fluid a lot better, and we should be good. Let's pop this in. Let's kind of see where we're at. So we're right at the minimum line. That's good enough for now. I'll actually have to go to the parts store and get some more, but that's pretty much wrap this up. So that wraps it up. Transmission's good. 5 quarts is what it needed and what it's at, and this thing should be perfect. Now the fluid wasn't terrible, and that's a good thing. If it was like really bad, would I have changed it? Probably, but the transmission shifts smooth as butter. I'm good with it. And by deleting the radiator, especially the lower part, which that's the part that fails and creates that strawberry milkshake of death, at least I have more peace of mind. Everything looks pretty good. We're going straight into this cooler right over here. And maybe later on in the future, I'll look to upgrade this and get something a little bigger, or I've seen people throw a fan on it. Not sure, but we'll see. So thanks for watching. Hope this video helps.